The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. I'm murderous. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I welcome all of you who are live here today in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and around the world. It was a wonderful weekend here in the Bahamas, but in the midst of the goodness of the weekend, there was sadness as an infant Negro female child suffered death in a tragic traffic accident. It is so sad. It means now, each weekend, I shall be calling on my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, who's here in studio and will be joining me momentarily, not only to speak to my people about the crime situation, but to point out to every citizen here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas the importance of driving slowly and with more due care and attention. I saw on social media that child laying off in the middle of the road, and I might as well confess it. I felt emotional stress. I felt it because the child is a child of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is a child of the world, and it is so sad. But today, in the midst of that, I'm going to give God thanks because it was a wonderful weekend. I've heard no reports of any murders. I've heard none. I'm not saying that there wasn't any, but I've heard none. And so I'm going to give God thanks, but I'm going to go into a kind of dangerous water. But because you would recall that I warned you last week that watch out for me, that in the days I shall be doing things that might appear to be unusual. And so you're going to have to move with me in a spiritual realm. Because in the midst of the sadness, in the midst of the joy, in the midst of happiness, there are great contradictions in my life because I am angry. And I call on those citizens who believe in justice and fair play to stand up with the F&M Attorney General, the Honorable Carl Wilshire Bettel, and may the forces of evil and the gates of hell never prevail against him for speaking truth. Carl, if it means that I must petition the opposition Progressive Liberal Party to march for you against the forces of evil inside the F&M, outside of the F&M, and in the media, I shall petition them because I'm convinced that Carl Bettel is on his way to a political salvation. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back, and I'm going to curse them out today with their no good self.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on cable channel 224 and on BTC Flow 112. We are also streaming, and listen to what I'm saying. You go to Google and you put in www.iltvstudios.com, and we're streaming live on that. And I'm also advised, praise the Lord, Facebook is up. And so you can go to you can go to iltv.com Facebook page. And I'm sharing it on my page, Rodney Monker. I hear your complaints that you're not able to see the stream. Well, I'm going to tell you that the forces of evil are working against me, but I'm going to chant those bald heads down. I'm going to chant them down. I'm going to chant Babylon down. And that is why, praise the Lord, my spiritual advisor, give me 5 with your right hand. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here. Bradley, would you kindly go to Psalms Division 118 and read something that will cheer us up?
Okay, Psalms Division number, well, first of all, thank you for your invitation to Freedom March, Mr. Monker. Psalms Division number 118, verses 1 through 7. It says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his mercy endures forever. Let Israel now proclaim, his mercy endures forever. Let the house of Aaron now proclaim, his mercies endure forever. Let those who fear the Lord now proclaim, his mercies endures forever. I called to the Lord in my distress. The Lord answered by setting me free. The Lord is at my side, therefore I will not fear. What can anyone do to me? The Lord is at my side to help me. I will triumph over those who hate me."
I thank you, my spiritual advisor, and may the words of Holy Scripture
Be blessed.
be blessed.
Amen.
My spiritual advisor.
So be it.
Well, folks, there are some exciting things in the newspaper them. And I'm going to look at it because it needs an analysis from the poor man perspective, from the grassroots perspective, from those of us who lives in the inner city, because we want a government of accountability and transparency. And so the forces of evil are now maneuvering. But before we address the forces of evil, I want to take you to today's Tribune, because I think it is important that I examine something that is taking place in the country. You would recall, moved by the spirit of truth, by the spirit of holiness, by the spirit that will cause political harmony to exist in the country, our esteemed Attorney General Carl W. Bettel, recognizing his constitutional responsibility, he examined the contract and he spoke truth, a truth that the liars do not want to hear. And so they have set about spiritually and politically to demonize him. But before we rescue Carl Bettel from the evil forces, we shall look now at how the leader of Her Majesty's opposition responded to that powerful, powerful revelation by Carl Bettel. For me, it is so emotional that Carl has decided to move forward, and he made up his mind, and it is clear, my spiritual advisor, he shall not turn back to lies and may God continue to bless him. But let us now look for a moment at what the leader of the opposition is quoted as saying in the Tribune today, Monday, the 26th of what month, my spiritual advisor?
This is May.
No, my spiritual advisor.
John.
Them F&M contract
No.
must be so good that you can't tell the difference between May.
No, my mind is so focused on not being paid.
Wow, well, we will discuss that because I'm hearing reports that the F&M is now signing checks.
Oh, really?
That's the report.
Okay.
A Negro has given to me. To the people of Freeport, I welcome you. I've been informed that you are here. And to Abaco, you know the song? On your way to Abaco. What happened? Coming back?
Well, you buck your toe?
You break your back. So let's look at what the leader of the opposition says on the front page of the Tribune. Davis say, F&M climb down, shows deceit in campaign. Official opposition leader Philip Brave Davis has accused the Minutes administration of a breathtaking climb down over its seemingly reverse position on Baha Mar, which he said was part of the Free National Movement's election campaign of deceit. The statement from the Progressive Liberal Party leader came days after Attorney General Carl Bettel told the Tribune there is nothing unusual in the documents relating to Baha Mar sale to Chow Tai Fook Enterprises. Mr. Davis said the F&M acted in desperation while in opposition by suggesting there was something illegal or unethical in the documents relating to the mega resorts sale and remobilization. He also questioned what the F&M promised Baha Mar's original developer, Sarkis, Izmirlian, for his support. Just bear with me, because I have to save Carl Bettel. And I'm calling on all decent citizens to help us save Carl. We're going to save Carl because Carl appears that he's on the right track. And so, Mr. Davis said last week, with great fanfare, Prime Minister announced in the House of Assembly that the Baha Mar deal had been unsealed. Mr. Davis' statement noted, however, he did not have the courage to own up to the facts of the deal, which he left to the Attorney General, Carl Bettel, QC. The Attorney General revealed that there is nothing out of the ordinary about the Baha Mar agreement. He recommended that the government honor the lawful contracts of the previous administration. He said there was nothing unconscionable about the deal, and he said there was no basis to go back on the arrangement. He even conceded, said Mr. Davis, that the heads of agreement already released by the Christie administration was the only part of the deal that should be in the public domain, as the remainder of the terms were commercially sensitive and should remain sealed for the time being. This is not only a breathtaking climb down by the F&M government, said Mr. Davis, but an admission of the campaign of deceit which they have waged against the Progressive Liberal Party and the Bahamian people. They say it's the people's time, but how can we trust these people? For almost 2 years, the F&M told the Bahamian people that Baha Mar deal was not real. And then last August, under the PLP government, the deal was accepted by the Supreme Court for almost 2 years. the F&M told the Bahamian people that Bahamian employees, contractors, and franchises who were owed millions of dollars by the failed development of Sarkis, Izmirlian. For almost 2 years, the F&M told the Bahamian people that they would not be paid. And then, by last November, Bahamians were paid what they were owed. For almost 2 years, the F&M told the Bahamian people that the development would never open. And then Baha Mar opened, partly in April. And in desperation, the F&M spent almost a year saying day after day, week after week, that there was something illegal or unethical in the Baha Mar documents sealed in the Supreme Court. Philip Brave Davis asks, how can Bahamians trust the F&M? We know from the budget and the debate which followed that the F&M government has no vision, no policies, and no plans. My spiritual advisor, plans. P-L-A-N-S, plans. And this statement by the leader of the opposition is significant. My spiritual advisor, in view of the fact that the Honorable Carl Bettel, possessed by the spirit of that which is good and pure, has put aside bad politics and look at the law, recognizing that he is the chief crown counsel, the chief lawyer to the state.
He was smart. I mean, Carl Bettel is a lawyer, a trained lawyer. And of course, being the Attorney General, understanding that the office of the Attorney General has to be protected at all costs, he had decided that he's going to lay the politics aside and see things for what they really are. I mean, I don't know if you should hang him for that. There are some who are really criticizing him heavily and think he's disqualified for holding office because of his decision to declare the Baha Mar deal safe. I mean, it is what it is. He's a smart person. I believe, in my estimation, he's made the right decision because he speaks on behalf of the Attorney General office, an office that has to be protected, in my opinion.
And above the political fray.
Absolutely.
Because I submit that when the Honorable Desmond Bannister, the government's Minister of Work, referred to the Attorney General, arguing that Desmond think there was sufficient evidence of criminality, of skullduggery, of pussyfooting on the part of the PLP, he felt that it was a matter that ought to be referred to the Attorney General, thus threatening the 4 opposition members of the Parliament. And by extension, those previous ministers in the government that was voted out of power. Certainly, Desmond, you're not safe. You see what you're causing? When I curse you out now, I have to duck your mother. Because every time she says to me, Brother Monker, Desmond is my son. Would you please stop cursing him out? What should I do? After I curse out Desmond and I run into his mother, should I say it wasn't me?
Well, you don't curse. I mean, you let the facts, you state the facts and you leave it and you move on.
Well, that's the way I
curse people out.
Because I'm going to have to fax him. And I don't mess around, Desmond. I'm prepared to fax you up. Because you're wrong. My spiritual advisor, isn't this a wonderful Attorney General?
Of course he is.
And because of that, Carl Bettel, because you have admitted that the PLP had obeyed the law, that its contract was lawful, and it was safe, I'm going to help you, Carl, to help Sarkis. I'm going to help him.
And I believe the biggest issue in this Baha Mar deal may have been the concessions that the former government may have given Baha Mar. Some feel that those concessions were not in keeping with the concessions that Atlantis may have gotten. And apparently that proves to be wrong.
Let's emphasize that. That is a lie. Atlantis continues to have better concessions than
Baha Mar.
Baha Mar. But the FNM deliberately using the brain law of a former FNM Minister of National Security. That is what they did. That y'all think that y'all can fool me. I know that that man was married to the Minister of National Security sister family. I know. And that's what they did. But Carl Bettel, have no fear. Now that you say that the contract is legitimate, that it should stand, I'm prepared to help you to fax it up. And I'm prepared to assist you in giving it to Izmirlian. Yeah, I'm not loyal to Izmirlian nor the Chinese. My loyalty is to Baha Mar. Oh, sweet Baha Mar, how proud I am of thee. That's my loyalty.
And now that is Izmirlian argument, that he feels that there may be some things in this Baha Mar deal that may not be in the best interest or benefit for the Bahamas.
Well, he will not determine that. Carl has already said so.
Okay.
I know Carl. I had him in the back of the bush.
Him too?
Yes. I'm 60. Do you know the man? I train in the back of the bushes. Why do you think the government can't hide nothing from me? My men, like Papa men, are hiding throughout the society. Yeah.
All right.
So, we're going to help Carl. We're going to help Carl. We're going to help Carl to help Izmirlian. Because my cousin, she came to see me, and she keep insisting. She said, listen, I want you to leave the Aguilar alone. So I said, why? She said, he's our cousin. That's what she keeps saying. And I'm going to identify my cousin. If you ever come back to my house and tell me the Aguilar is my cousin, without bringing birth certificate, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to ask the court to make a proof to me how the Aguilar became my cousin. Because she said, listen, that's our cousin. That's our cousin. And if I could discover if he is my cousin, my long-lost cousin, I'm going to wash my clothes. Free. All right? Anyway, this is Freedom March. The forces of evil is camping outside Carl Bettel.
Well, actually outside the Attorney General office.
We will serve Carl. We shall serve Carl Bettel. He's a good FNM. He's a successful Wallace Whitfield FNM. And we ain't gonna let these young people who don't know the history of the party damage Carl. Carl, forward march on that rocky, fruitful road. This is Freedom March. We'll be right back after
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Views and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I am joined in studio by biblical scholar, my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome once again.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, before you joined me, I talked about that accident involving the 2-year-old child. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, sad indeed.
And I think starting on the weekend, you will also have to remind members of the public of the danger of speeding, because look how tragic it is.
Absolutely.
Would you kindly extend sympathies to the parents and families and friends of the little
Yes,
girl.
my sincerest and heartfelt condolences goes out to the mother and the father of the child. It's unfortunate that the child had to lose his life in such an unfortunate way. But Ms. Monica, my mind always go on how, even if I'm catching a ride with you, one of the first things you tell me is, listen, put your seatbelt on. Sometimes I get frustrated that you constantly remind me about the seatbelt, but it's obvious that the seatbelt does serve a really interesting purpose.
Yes.
And if a car flips over, you're secured to the car by the seatbelt. Unfortunately, I understand this child may have catapulted outside of the vehicle after it may have spun or flipped over. The seatbelt law in the Bahamas is enforced, I understand.
It is enforced.
Yeah, and we must pay attention to that seatbelt law because apparently the advertisements we see all over the world is that seatbelt saves lives.
Yeah, and this is a clear
example of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is so tragic.
But I'll say this much, Mr. Monica, if it means anything to those who have kids, that Jesus has placed children in a very safe position.
Wow.
And that child goes back to the God who gave it. And we must now, as adults, we must try to see if we could make it the way that child has actually gone back to paradise because of the child's position. When you become an adult, it's a challenge because then you have to be born again. That child, of course, is in a very safe position. I know that may not be consoling for some, but when you look at it from a spiritual aspect, it is a comfort. It is comforting to know that that child now rests in the bosom of Abraham.
Amen.
Absolutely.
I thank you for those kind words.
Absolutely.
And I too join my spiritual advisor in extending our condolences here from Freedom March. Well, on the weekend, I decided that I would go out to look at what the young people were doing as we talk about tourism. And so, kind of late, accompanied by a number of Negro citizens, I went out into the town. And there was only one thing that disturbed me. But I must salute the many young people who were moving about the city of Nassau, having fun, and what appeared to be wholesome, outside of a Negro male and a Negro female having a little, misunderstanding and pulling and banging. Everything else outside of that particular situation was fine. But in the course of the banging, I looked around to see if I would see a policeman. And it dawned on me that there was no police officer within that immediate area. There were police officers down the road by Frederick Street, but there wasn't none near the junction of Parliament Street and Bay Street on a night when people go out and sometime the stitchy, the little drinks can swing head and people can become jealous and an incident could get out of hand. So I'd like to see police more visible at the junction of Frederick Street, at the junction of Parliament Street.
And Bay Street.
And Bay Street.
Of course.
But in the midst of that, the young people that I engage in, they give me faith and great hope for our nation. Because notwithstanding that we have complaints about some of our young people, there are thousands of young people in the country who are law-abiding, who knows how to go out and socialize in a very responsible manner and in a very peaceful manner. And to them, I salute you, because I had a shock of my life as they saw myself and my delegates. They engage us in some very serious political chat. My spiritual advisor, you were there.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I'm certain you must have been impressed yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, in the course, I'm going to show give a little shout out. Because today, I happens to be at a local residence when a Negro lady flew in from Freeport, Grand Baha Mar. She was accompanied by her Negro family. But in the midst of the family, she introduced me to her children. And I was impressed because the daughter, she swims. And she came to Nassau and she swam. She won 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals, my spiritual advisor, and 2 bronze medals. So I have no other choice but to give a shout out to Miss Denise Minnis. She's from Grand Baha Mar. And her daughter, Abayomi. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I have learned, my spiritual advisor, how to spell the name. And Abayomi is spelled capital Abayomi. Abayomi Brown. And then, of course, I met the son, Reginald Minnis Jr. And I also was impressed when the mother told me how well the daughter has done as an athlete from Freeport, Grand Baha Mar. So I salute those folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You met them too, my spiritual advisor.
And what it does, Mr. Monica, it sends a strong message after meeting that family, is that it seems as if, for the most part, adults have to be extremely responsible, as they live their lives, because, the younger people are watching. They do idolize older people. There are some people who they would want to be like when they grow up. So in your case, a very influential person in this country, Mr. Monica, I must encourage you to lead the path of righteousness, which is extremely important, because there are people out there who watch you. And if they want to idolize you, they want to idolize somebody who is walking that path that you would be proud of.
Well, my spiritual advisor, I thank you for good and sober advice.
Absolutely.
Those of us who are in the public eyes, we have a duty to act responsibly.
Absolutely.
Because we do not know.
Who's watching?
Say that again.
Who is watching?
Who is watching?
Absolutely.
And so I pray to God that everything I do would be responsible, because that is so important, isn't it?
Yes, especially when we're leading kids.
Yes. So we extend that salute to Denise Minnis, her daughter Abayomi Brown, her son Reginald Minnis Jr. I also, in the course of our walking Bay Street, from Arawaki to Bay Street, to see how the nightlife was going on, I ran into a number of Defense Force officers, and as they told me their names, my spiritual advisor, I said to them, listen, all of you all are related to me. And every time one tell me his surname, I was able to tell him where he possibly came from.
Defense Force officers.
Defense Force officers. And guess what? I was correct. They wanted to know how I knew that. I said, I just know. It would take a long time to tell them that I learned that from Pindling. Pindling always said, listen to the names and identify the geographical location of that family. That's where I learned that from. So, to the officers of the Defense Force, Richard McPhee. You remember what I told you about Marion McPhee? So I expect you to continue to be a good Defense Force officer. And so, you too, Cyril Gardner. And of course, Officer Ferguson. I'm 60. I've forgotten your first name. But you're a good man. And I turned out to be right when I told you, you look just like Forrest Exuma people. That's where my ma was born. And he was shocked that I was so smart. And as he looked at me, wanting to know how I get so smart, what do you think I said? I'm 60! That's how I get so smart. I'm 60.
You have some wisdom.
Yeah.
At age 60.
Yeah. And I also went to a secret meeting. And I was shocked that in the office of one of the most powerful businessmen, there were two women. And as I entered, one declared immediately that she was one of the women them. And I said, you are one of the women them in here? She said, yes. And she said, there was another secret woman here. And she called the woman out. And I was shocked. I almost could take over the country. Because all the women them are in top position.
No, don't become conceited now. What do you mean where you can always almost take over the
Do
country?
you know what it is? For all the women them? It's powerful. But we shall salute her. And I wish to salute Rosita Monroe. You're a wonderful woman. And I thank you for introducing me to, pardon? Really? That's powerful. You know, I hear things in my head, folks. So Rosita Monroe and Rodrika Pinder, I was honored to meet you. And Rodrika, keep defending me among the family. You're right. Let them know I'm a good citizen, and may they also join you in supporting Freedom March. These are two wonderful, wonderful Negro woman them. It's powerful. So I thought we should deal with that. My spiritual advisor, we are living in the age of enlightenment. This is the age of enlightenment. This is the age of lies and propaganda and misinformation. This is the age of what is truth and what is right and what is wrong. This is the age when you have to be careful who you attack, because the society is small. You would recall that in the Honorable House of Assembly, a man who I shall refer to as the incorruptible, Jeffrey Lloyd, he stood up in the House of Assembly and he launched an attack on the opposition when it was in government. And by extension, he drew the Seventh-day Adventist Church into a controversy. And my first criticism of him was to point out his intellectual dishonesty by failing to say, not only did the PLP government enter into an arrangement with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, but they also entered into an arrangement with who? The Catholic Church, of which Jeff Lloyd is an ex-deacon, and I am a member. I pointed out. What I did not tell him, which I shall now do, is that there are two Negro men in the Bahamas. When it comes with dealing with finances, I have absolute confidence in their integrity and in their honors. I have, because I've known them for many years. One is a former retired civil servant. The other one is the treasurer of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I didn't tell him. Now, unlike Jeff, I'm going to make a confession. C. Melvin Lewis is my maternal first cousin. But I didn't tell him that. Now, Jeff, who twists the facts on the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is now backpedaling after they tell him, listen, there was an arrangement, but we ain't get a black quarter, not even a copper. But Jeff, in his attempt to discredit, made it appear that the PLP had paid out millions of dollars to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And that is regrettable. It's very interesting. And I'll give you a story. And to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, you better watch out for me. I attended a high-level function at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And in the course of Dr. Menace departing the church, and I departing the church, pastors made disparaging remarks about me. Let me repeat it again. The Seventh-day Adventist Church pastors, you got to be careful of me. Because I sat back and I waited. Dr. Menace exited the church, and I exited the church, and there were disparaging remarks to the extent that I was subsequently asked, did you hear what they said? And I told them, no, I didn't hear it. But I heard everything. Now, here's a controversy where I could have gone on the attack. But to have done that would have upset my first cousin, C. Melvin Lewis. It would have.
Who is the treasurer of what?
Who is the treasurer of the 7 Days of Adventist Conference.
Okay.
Who, according to the newspaper, was a part of a delegation that met with the minister on the first day of the week. My spiritual advisor, what would have been the first day of the week?
Sunday.
Sunday. And now Jeff is backpedaling. Come, Jeff. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. All right? Yeah, you won't score a political point, but wait until you have the facts. Then you score your point. You don't score a point and then you open yourself for Christians, fellow Christians, to come back and refute what you say. Because he doesn't know C. Melvin Lewis. He's my auntie child, and he's an honest citizen. Always been honest. Always. The country is small. But I decided, I even need to ask him, what does this Jeff say? I'm going to sit back and wait. All right? We got to do better than that, man. We got to do better than that. We have to stop attacking people unless you have the evidence. So slowly, a lot of the stories that the FNM has told us in opposition, now in government, slowly, as Philip Brave Davis describes it, they are climbing down. And it's just better to be honest. You might want to attack me. Well, wait until I commit the sin. Wait until you have the evidence. Why launch a vicious attack, a scurrilous attack? Why launch a lie that can be refuted? That can be refuted.
But it begs the question, though.
Yes?
And you know where I'm headed with this.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Why would the government of the Bahamas invest millions of dollars on a property that it has no arrangement with? Why would it do that?
I can't answer that question.
You can't
All
answer it?
that I can tell you.
I wish I could find somebody who could put millions of dollars on my property, and I didn't make an arrangement.
But I want
with them.
no. There were talks. There were.
There has to be some arrangement, Mr. Munker.
I want you to listen to what I just said. There were talks.
Okay.
Okay? All that I know is one of the Adventist pastors said he stopped it, and I sense because there was no finality. The reality of the matter is, whatever took place, the Adventists have argued that they have not received a dime in 2 years.
Okay.
But Deacon Jeff Lloyd conveyed erroneously the idea that monies had been paid and not a copper has been paid.
Okay.
And I will accept my auntie child
You know,
over
it's ironic.
Jeff.
I was just going to ask you, whose report do you believe?
Well, I'm telling you. I told you there are two Negro men. One, a retired civil servant, when Brent Simonet in 2007 accused him. I was able to attack Brent and defend the man, and Brent could not refute because I knew the integrity of the man. This particular civil servant, he can't stand corruption. All right? The next Negro man that I also repose great confidence, and I'm going to be honest with you, my auntie son, C. Melvin Lewis. I repose confidence in him. When he tells me something, I even know of the check because I repose. So Jeff has to stop it. Find credible information on the PLP and then wail their backside. That's what you do. Credible information. How that sound?
But that's fine. And you got to admit, though, Mr. Munker, there were times when I misstep on the show and I had to backpedal. So you must give a man credit if he comes out and say, hey, I said A, but I'm retracting that. And that's commendable. I I have, as you are aware, some serious issues with the Adventist movement, but in this case, I know that the Adventist...
We're not talking theology.
And I'm not discussing theology.
Okay.
I just made a blanket statement, and I can prove it too. But for this argument's sake, I mean, the Adventist Church hold the 10 Commandments dearly to their heart, and one of those commands is thou shalt not lie. So I don't believe their past president would get in the newspapers and tell a lie.
Well, I ain't talking about no past president.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I just said to you?
Yes, I heard you.
I attended. Got to watch out for me. And as I departed the congregation of the Most High God, a disparaging remark. But I couldn't.
Was hurled at you.
I couldn't rebut, because had I done so, it would have caused great embarrassment. And then people would have accused me of not being saved, nor sanctified. And I decided I shall wait for a rainy day. And that is what I've done. And when I was told, did you hear what they say? When I put on my dark shades, I don't hear bad things. All right? But one day, I may launch my attack on that holy man who made a disparaging remark.
But that's all right.
All right?
No, that's all right. You don't attack back.
I won't attack back.
No, don't
I'm
do
just
that.
only going to reveal.
If somebody curses
All right?
you bless them.
Yeah.
Bless and do not curse. Always remember that.
Amen, my spiritual advisor. So, Jeff, watch what is happening. To score petty political points. Come on. You don't do it like that. If you ain't find nothing on your opponent, don't create anything. You just wait. Say, boy, this opponent I got, they good, eh? They wouldn't break no law. They wouldn't get themselves involved in no skullduggery. Now, once you find evidence, you check and recheck. And then you come forward. All right? That's what Carl Bettel has done. He's gotten the contract. He's examined it. He determined, wow, the contract is credible. It's legitimate. It is a contract based on national law and international law. All right? You have to comply with it. All right? You have to. If you want to be seen as a responsible state. But now, if you want to be a rogue nation, a gangster nation, then you don't listen. But I'm prepared, because of Carl's honesty, having acquitted the PLP against the lies. I'm prepared to assist him today on taking the contract from the Chinese and giving it to Sarkis. I'm prepared to do it, my spiritual advisor. Should I?
Well, Sarkis does seem to have a desire for it. So,
You want Sarkis?
You know what?
See,
I've been following this saga for a while.
do you want Sarkis? Who?
I think Sarkis should have it.
Who you want? The Chinaman?
No, I want Sarkis.
Sarkis.
I want to become a Sarkis boy.
Choose it this day.
I want Sarkis to have it, man.
Boy.
It is his brainchild.
You want Sarkis?
Yeah, man. Sarkis should have it.
Sarkis got the money?
He's here. He's here in the Bahamas.
Sarkis got the money?
He says he have it.
He has the money.
And he says he's prepared to purchase it.
Well, when I return, you're going to have to tell me what all Sarkis. Do you know Sarkis?
I know Mr. Izmirlian.
You sure?
Yeah, I know him.
And you have no vested interest?
No.
Your hands are clean.
He should have it, Mr. Munker.
Your hands are clean?
It's his brand. Why take it away from him?
I don't know Sarkis. I don't know Sarkis. But I'm prepared to help Carl give it to Sarkis.
He should have it.
They have a choice. Carl, what you want? You want to give it to Sarkis? Or you want me to curse Baha Mar? Because I know how to curse them.
It's open.
It's open.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to the party, you know.
It's a beautiful, beautiful resort.
You remember I've been to
From
the
what
party?
I can see, yeah.
This is powerful. We can help Sarkis.
Let's help Sarkis get Baha Mar, man.
Should I help Sarkis to get Baha Mar? Or should we leave it with the Chinese? As F&M's say Ching Wong 42.
The Chinese already has too much now as it is.
This is Freedom March. Carl Bettel is the man of the hour. He's speaking truth. and the forces are against him.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV in beautiful, beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm joined in studio by one of the greatest biblical scholars in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I'm prepared to put him up against any other human being. My personal spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. Brother Roll, welcome back to Freedom March.
Thank you. One of these days, I want you to put me up against the former Arch
Be careful.
Gomez. I like to have a debate with him.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man.
Let me pray over that.
He is spiritually and intellectually dishonest.
Wow. Well, I
find him to be extremely dishonest.
We may have to organize it.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's do that.
I want to make a shout out because I told you that I'm doing some unusual things now. The young people have taken me along the tourist route at 60. I never went to nightclubs. Okay, I've never went to nightclubs. I've been to a nightclub, and it's interesting. I think it was in 1980. And Prince Jack, a Jamaican DJ, and they said to me, let's go there. So when I got to Hutch, I looked back because I could see the church. And I decided, let me sneak up before the pastor. I was not a member of the Roman Catholic Church. I went in, and there was a bad dude. I'm not going to call his alias because, you know, he's old now, but he was bad. And he did all kind of nonsense. And they were singing the gunman song. And I decided I'll see whether or not I could shake my leg. And so they started off, the gunman song, the gunman song. Everybody know but the gunman song. Pow, pow! They lick off shots. And as they lick off shots, everybody run. And they ran. So somebody said, well, Monkey, you're not going to run? So I said, isn't that the music? They said, no, man, that's gun. So I break off and run. I'm not going to tell you any more incident about that because where I ran to, it was so embarrassing. And I don't want to talk, Ed, but I had to run. And that Negro man wouldn't repent. He was bad. He was like a cowboy. Whenever he walks in, he would take a stitchy bottle and fling it across. And he wouldn't repent. And he aged. And by the time he got to about, 49, 50, he ran into a man who was his junior. And he still won't be bad. And the young man pulled out a gun and shot him. Shot him in his foot. And he lost a whole foot. And every time I see him, I said, you know, let's take this call before we go into that. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Sir.
Yes, Mr. Monka.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
You know, I disagree with you with this thing, with giving this thing back to Sarkis, you know.
Okay. Why? You haven't heard my reason yet, but why?
But let me tell you the Bahamian reason.
Okay.
How can an investor come in here and try to divide the Bahamian people, meddle in our politics, talk bad to politicians who was in power at that time, and disrespected us by going to the courts in Delaware to file for bankruptcy, bypassing all Bahamian courts, all Bahamian legal courts and stuff, and going to Delaware. He trying to show us disrespect, and we should turn around and give that back to him or sell it back to him. I don't think we should.
When you say we, who do you mean?
I say that again.
When you say we,
the Bahamian people.
Well,
not
this might not have anything to do with me, because what time is it?
It's the people's time.
And
it is always the people's time, you know.
Yes, but there's a point that we're overlooking. And my point here is simply this. I am pleasantly pleased, over the fact that an F&M Attorney General, under pressure, has spoken truth,
Yes.
having vindicated the PLP.
Uh-huh.
The PLP is out of power.
Yes.
And if the F&M cut a deal with Sarkis, I'm prepared to help call them give it to Sarkis, because I couldn't give 2 pennies. Who ended up with it?
But what I saying, what about the disrespect?
I
He showed us.
understand.
That's what you got to look at.
I'll look at it.
And I think Sir Lyndon will be turning over in his grave. You know, things like that could not happen under Sir Lyndon
Yeah,
watch now.
but Sir Lyndon will also be turning over in his grave because you didn't hold the F&M in power. You all lose power.
Don't worry about the PLP losing power.
That's
like
it.
I say, Sarkis, you realize whether PLP, F&M, and DNA, we are all behemoths.
I got
he
you,
tried
bro.
to divide us, and with the F&M showing now that no matter what politics do, it cannot divide us as behemoths. He probably thought like the F&M was going to say the deal with the PLP cut with the Baha Mar deal.
Well,
was
Carl is in the F&M. Carl is above the F&M. I got your
All right.
point.
Yeah, but what I say now, the man disrespected us. I think we should forget about him altogether.
I hear you. But
All right.
that in the F&M perspective. I hear you. I take note of what you say. You take good care.
All right, Joe, take.
Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello? Hello? Speak to me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Montcalm. Could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just to reinstate what the gentleman called about with Sarkis. What do you think? Do you think there was ever a plan for Sarkis with the F&M campaign, or did they ever had any plan for him? Do you think they always had the intentions to swing him, like what Minister did?
Well, I'm not going to say that Minnis swung him. Minnis has promised that he can take the hotel and sell it. All I'm
But
saying...
how? You can't take the hotel. It's a done deal. You can't touch it.
Listen, I'm a part of the choir. I accept your argument. For me, since Carl has vindicated the PLP and say, listen, there's nothing wrong with this contract. The PLP didn't do any crookedness. I'm pleased. Now I say...
Where Carl Bethel got his law degree from? BTVI or...
No. We're not going to do it to Carl.
No.
We're not going to
Yeah,
ridicule him.
don't do that.
Listen to me. I know him from he was a youth. He's an educated man. Don't mind I cut him out. He's an educated man.
And what about the Aguilar?
Let's leave the Aguilar because I'm sensing that there are people who are sensitive when I call his name.
But
All right.
I saw some recent posts with the Aguilar. I see he enjoying the Bahamas a lot, trying out the restaurants as the new Minister of Tourism. He turned into the food inspector instead of tourism minister. So I don't know what the cabinet really up to, but from what I see, they're really busy. They're really busy.
Okay, I thank you for your
And let me just...
comment.
I can't say who I saw a certain place, because where I saw this person, only a few people were, but I was at this restaurant and I saw one of the ministers there also, and they came there to eat that
A
night
public
at a
restaurant.
nice restaurant.
No, a
What's wrong with
public
that?
restaurant. A public restaurant. I got to let you go
Yeah,
because they're
what's wrong with
signaling
that?
me that there's other callers. Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, how are you? Hello?
Mr. Manco?
Yes?
Yes, sir. What I do know, I'm a pensioner, and every pension, when it's our pension day, our money always go to the bank late, sir.
What about this week? Did it get to the bank late?
Yes, sir, it got to the bank. I never received my money till after 3 o'clock in the bank.
Wow.
And the thing is, Mr. Manco, on government payday, the pension is be in the bank before payday. Why pensions got to wait?
Well, it's sad that pensioners has to wait. But, you know, in this time, you know, the F&M ain't kicking the ball right. But I'll case them out for you, but you got the pension,
You
okay?
got it, yeah, that's the bottom line.
And make sure they can get our money to the bank on time, sir.
Okay, then.
Thank you, boss. Have a blessed day.
All right.
All right.
Okay. My spiritual advisor, you were about to do something, but let me do another shout out. I want to shout out some young people that I met after midnight. All right? And so, to Sister Clarita Albury, Donna Brown, Shanqua Johnson, and Brother Ramon Burnside. Listen, I was pleased when I met you young people and the wonderful political discourse we had. Keep being responsible. I think the country is going to be better off because of young people like you know. And then, of course, Samara Bow, Deshay Cash. I met all of them after midnight on Bay Street. I didn't know the young people that must be up that late. So I was pleased, and I thank you for listening to Freedom March. Okay? I thank you. And if you have any information, remember, my cell number is 434-5760. My spiritual advisor, before I allow you to go into the various texts, I want to ask a question. Because in the district of New Providence appeared before me a number of Negroes who are complaining. And so I want to raise a question on behalf of the worker them. Who is Reginald Vickers? I am advised that Citizen Reginald Vickers is the manager of water sports at Sandal. Citizen Vickers, I'm displeased over the allegations that has been levied against you. I ask you to be kind, to be responsible, and I recognize from time to time you have to talk to the staff, but you should not in any way refer to anything disparaging as it relates to nationalism. You could criticize the worker without collectively criticizing the Bahamas. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Treat the workers with respect. Because among those poor Negroes are citizens who are well connected. All right? And I'm not pleased with what I'm hearing. So I want you not to do that. Don't curse at all the Bahamians. All of us are not no good. Don't do that. Okay? Don't forget, there were controversies before, and you all were able to get away. And the PLP suffer a devastating consequence as a result of Allison Maynard coming to your rescue and giving your management a nollie prosequi. Be kind to the staff. Please. I don't have to come down there with my placards to picket. I know what your position is. Because in this modern technology, we can know. So please stop it. Okay? Reginald Vickers. Stop it, man. Okay? Be kind. Not only that, you are offending me. Because when you examine the history in the Caribbean, the Jamaican is a liberated man, has played a significant role in the liberation of the People's Republic of Haiti. So you are a freedom man. And we are all one Caribbean people. So be kind. Okay? I'm a justice of the peace. And I know Dion Fawkes. I know him personally. He's the Minister of Labor. He used to wake me up 3:30 in the morning. And me and him would walk up and down all over the country as I listened to his political aspiration and ambitions. You say, you ain't know that? I know Dion Fawkes. Know your daddy, your brother. And if I complain, he's going to have to weigh what I say because he knows me a long time. So Reggie Wicker, be kind to my Negro people. Okay? I don't think I need to say anything about that.
Spot on.
Citizens, go back to work hard. This is tourism. It's the #1 industry in the Bahamas. So we must provide #1 service. All right? Because we need tourists. So my Negro people, I've done it. Raised it here on Freedom March, and Reginald Vickers has heard from me. Isn't that powerful, my spiritual advisor?
I agree with you 100%.
So that is how that go. So, do we have any texts?
Well,
I have 2 callers, my spiritual advisor.
This is a very interesting text. It says, shout out to First Lady Ping. It's her birthday today, isn't
No,
it?
Dame Margaret's birthday was on the 23rd of June.
Okay, so that's gone.
No. While it has passed, my spiritual advisor, Dame Margaret, by the grace of God, Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and the personal representative of Her Sovereign Majesty the Queen. Dame Margaret, please forgive me. I should have wished you a happy birthday. But it's not too late.
How did we forget?
Those things happen.
And we have her on our side.
Yes, but you know,
every day. Isn't she lovely?
She's royal.
Wow.
And so, my spiritual advisor, are you able to sing happy birthday?
Happy birthday to the First Lady. Well, the first.
She is the First Lady. Don't forget. Let's get it clear.
I wanted to correct it a bit.
The Constitution shall comprise of who? Her Majesty. And in her absence, who's next? Her personal representative, Dame Margaret. So Dame Margaret is the First Lady.
Okay, so I wasn't wrong for
Every
saying
other
that.
woman who is married to a prime minister, see the Negroes, them always get this mix up. The Governor General, if it's a female, it's the First Lady. And if it's a male, it's the First Man.
No, we don't want to be incorrect with misstep and protocol now.
We're not misstepping. It's the Governor General.
Okay.
All right? These Negroes get me upset. There's a bunch of things I've seen them been doing at Government House that is incorrect. But I don't want them to know I'm smart because they don't like me anyhow. Let's have the phone call. Dame Margaret, I'm so sorry.
Happy birthday. Belated.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
And if I was able to sing, I would have sang a song. Happy birthday to you. May God bless you and may you continue to reign over us in the absence of our blessed Queen, Elizabeth II. I'll take the call. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hi, how are you?
We're fine.
Spiritual advisor.
How you doing?
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Good day.
Happy birthday, Lady Penham as well. God bless you.
Well, let me just stop you.
Belated.
You're not to refer to her as Lady Pinling. She has her own knighthood. Before Her Majesty bestowed a damehood on her, she would have been lady. But she is Dame Margaret. Don't be offended. I just want.
No, you're so correct. But she's still Lady Penham to me.
Absolutely.
Okay then. Go ahead,
but,
my
you
love.
know, I wanted to just touch on in reference to Mr. Carpettle and what he's being subjected to since he gave that interview over the weekend. Do you think the law is the law is the law, right? He's the Attorney General. He studied that whatever seal deal or whatever document, and he came to the Bahamian people, and he gave his he said what it is.
Yes.
Now we've been hearing for persons, or they have been hearing for persons for his off in his head.
They want a gangster Attorney General. That's their problem. Carl Bellin is not a gangster. I know him personally. I had problems. I knocked at his door, and he told the wife, get something for me to drink. And when I left the house, I was safe. Go ahead.
Do you think, Mr. Moncur, being a justice of the peace, do you, just in your opinion, and your spiritual advice as well, do you think now, just say Prime Minister Menace, he decides to listen to the outcry, and tomorrow morning there's a new Attorney General?
That won't happen.
And I'm just saying, just suppose. And do you think they will come up with a different outcome than Mr. Bethel has come up with?
This is the answer for you. That will not happen.
And one more question in reference to some of the comments in reference to with the all these allegations with all of the money spent, wastage, and so who got this and who got that. I don't know if he really said that it doesn't, or he said that it doesn't look at as if there's going to be or can be any prosecutions as far as with laws on the books in reference to with this anti-corruption or whatever, right? So what needs to be done is, I think what they need to have a lot of work to do. They need to go back to the drawing board and come up with these some new laws in reference to prevent corruption or whatever that you can actually sink your teeth into. Because what they're in essence is doing, they are putting a lot of persons and their families' lives in danger right now.
Listen, have no fear. Carl Battle's position is simply this. If I see crime, there's charge. If there's no crime, there won't be. I got to let you go.
Thank you.
God save the Queen. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Yes, good afternoon to your spiritual advisor also.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing?
Yes, I just want to touch briefly on what a Chapter 11 means and what it does as in terms of the investment or the investor.
Now, let me stop you for a second. You must also tell me which jurisprudence are you referring to?
I am going to refer to one that I was personally involved with.
And that would be here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Well, I am a Bahamian citizen.
And in the Bahamas, we have a Chapter 11?
We don't have a Chapter 11.
That is the point I was trying to make. So
I got you on that.
So you must say to me that you are referring to the United States law.
Most definitely.
Which is not applicable to the Bahamas. That's all.
As it relates to of major investment, due diligence with major investors from global arena. I want to give you some specs because as it relates to communication. I was involved with a communication with WorldCom. WorldCom was $250 billion, and they had to file a Chapter 11. My investment at that time was $400 invested. In 3 years, my investment was about $3,900, and I was netting per annum $90,000. They file a Chapter 11 to protect the investor and the investments.
But that company existed in the Bahamas?
No, but as a Bahamian, sir, outside of this country, central bank tries to block us. You could get $1 million. You could get $1 million to buy a house. You could get $70,000-$80,000 to buy a car. You could get $100,000 to send your child off to school. But any investment, central bank tries to block you. So I went into disclosure. Hear me for a second, and so that you can understand as your audience and your intellect will kick in. I am saying as a Bahamian who have went through this scar, who have understand how investors and investment work. I am not the best of it, but I am one who have done it through many years.
I hear you. I'm going to have to stop you.
So what
I heard you.
What I'm saying to you is this: when they when they file the Chapter 11, it's the protection of the investor.
But that is not applicable to the Bahamas. That is the point I'm making.
If you still go there, it becomes rhetoric. If you keep touching things,
it is not applicable to the Bahamas.
Outside of this country. See, Mr. Monica, you might run a show, but you got to understand that there are people who are more influence of capital in a global sense.
I'm allowing
so we have to be very careful of how we try to tarnish one another, even if we have been there or not.
Okay, I thank you. I think I give you a good run.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. We can take the call after the break. I hear my Negro brother, but the things that he spoke about are not applicable to the laws of the Bahamas. And I asked y'all, stop being confused by American law. Okay? Just wear American clothes, eat American food, drive their car, buy their stuff, but do not confuse our laws with the American laws. And a whole white judge in Philadelphia told them that was wrong. And a whole white judge has lifted up the standard of a Negro judge in the Bahamas. So let's get it right. This is Freedom March. My people, for want of knowing the difference, are misled. I'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV, here in beautiful, beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My blessed spiritual advisor, who's a biblical scholar, is Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome once again to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Most of you will note that I'm wearing a brand new shirt. I run into an elderly Negro lady, and she said to me, I am one of the woman them, and I want to provide you with a wonderful bow and a nice shirt. I look at that woman and I said to myself, self, how old is this woman? Guess what? She's old enough to be my ma. And so she told me, come downtown. And I went to Baker's shop, right on the corner of Frederick Street and Bay Street. There she put on me, this must be about $150 or $200 English shirt. I have to say it because she was kind. And then she gave me bow tie and all kind of things. I wanted to kiss her, but the younger woman seems to have been a relative, and I didn't want any evidence of me planning a kiss on a senior citizen.
A holy kiss is fine.
A holy kiss is fine. That would be regarded as a holy kiss.
Yeah.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor.
One on the cheek.
So I want to thank you for this wonderful shirt, bow tie, and guess what? She works at Baker's. Y'all go there and give them some business for her being so kind. I end up turning into a yacht. And when her daughter saw me, she said, Mama, the leader of the woman dam. Goodness me, I got to keep going in all kind of yachts. So I thank you, my love. Okay? Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello?
Sir, what's on your mind?
Mr.
Hello, what's on your mind?
Good evening.
Sir, how are you?
All right. I want to congratulate both you and your spiritual advisor.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Monker.
Yes, we thank you.
Mr. Monker, I want to sort of deviate somewhat from politics, and please allow me for a second to congratulate two outstanding Bahamian young ladies.
Go ahead, my brother.
From C.C. Sweeting.
My school.
One is Miss Miller.
Wow.
And one Miss Cooper.
Yes.
Outstanding students with top honors.
They made me proud.
I read that in the Guardian this morning, and I couldn't help but calling your show. I don't call talk shows, but I had to call you just to congratulate these two junior achievers, so to speak.
Yeah.
They were very outstanding.
That is true.
You know?
It's amazing.
Did you attend C.C. Sweeting, sir?
I went there in 1971 when it was a big dollhouse.
Okay.
And Leonard Archer, who was the vice principal, he struggled to turn the dollhouse into a real school.
I see.
Yeah, I've been there. But I thank you for your kind remarks.
Those girls, they're very outstanding. I want to thank you very much for your time, and congratulations to both them and their parents.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have any other call?
No.
Hello? No more call at this point. Well, as we talk about Carl Battle and the fact that the forces of evil are attacking him because he spoke truth, I asked the PLP, listen to me, in these hard times, when a whole minister, a whole attorney general subjects himself to insults and innuendos so that the truth could be told, that will free the PLP from negative criticism, please protect Carl. Pray for him, and if need be, PLPs must be willing to march. And Candia Dames is changing. It's amazing. Candia has a wonderful editorial in the Nassau Guardian. I am convinced that Candia is not too far from the kingdom.
Wow, now that's interesting.
It's powerful.
She's
notwithstanding all them sins. It's like she's changing. So I want to invite everybody to go buy a Nassau Guardian to read Candia editorial. The PM should ignore Izmirlian. All right? And I'm going to go down to the bottom because it is clear that Candia is repenting of some of the wicked, dirty, poisonous handwriting. Because her writing is poisonous. I don't know where she's get that kind of ink.
Let's focus on the positive, Mr. Monk.
It's just like a monkey tamarind.
Just focus on the positive. You're about to commend her. Let's do that.
Let's see what Candy say. I'm reading the Nassau Guardian editorial. The Izmirlian company statement said, quote, the giveaway aid out in the heads of time by the Christie administration to China Exim Bank and Chow Tai Fook, the Baha Mar purchaser, are egregious and an insult to the Bahamian people. What else did the former administration do in its desperation to get any kind of a deal to announce related to the sale of Baha Mar, to try to win re-election and feather the economic nest of its members? Concessions are often granted to make difficult deals. While some of the deals, provision may be objectionable and ill-conceived. If it is a legally binding agreement that was properly executed, the Minister administration should not just walk away from it. A lawful deal is a lawful deal. Breaking it for no legally justifiable reason would make the Bahamas vulnerable to a lawsuit and damages in the hundreds of millions, if not billions, of dollars. Such a successful judgment could bankrupt a Bahamas that is already in a cash flow problem. Minas has much work to do. He has an electricity provider in a state of collapse, a landfill that is poisoning people. There is a public education crisis. The economy is not growing. Unemployment is high. Public debt has risen sharply. There is a violent crime crisis in your Providence. The Prime Minister should not get caught up in the Baha Mar quagmire. Allow the deal to play out. Give the soon-to-be owners the support they need to be as successful as possible. Izmirlian has his interests. Minas has his. They are not the same. If Izmirlian wishes to wage a public relations war or court challenge against what he finds odious about what happened at Baha Mar, he is free to do so as a resident of the Bahamas. We, the Bahamian people, however, need a government that is focused on delivering on the promises made during the election campaign to make life better on these islands. No one elected Minas to solve Izmirlian problems. We hope the Prime Minister reject his request. And I would think, my spiritual advisor, that the Nassau Guardian, Candia Dames, with her beautiful self, is showing her beauty in a very wonderful way. Candia, if I would not have been charged by your older brother Marvin. I would kiss you when I see you, but Marvin may lock me up. And then you might accuse me of a crime. And then the people them can say I ain't
Once
safe.
it's not sexual harassment, I mean...
Well, she doesn't work for me. For me to sexually harass her, she would have to be my employee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the law allows a man to at least put 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 questions. All right?
Yeah, but you don't put no question, can you?
Oh,
But she's done well in the editorial,
yes,
eh?
it's
Done well.
powerful.
Yeah.
But notwithstanding that, I'm prepared to help the F&M to get around the contract if you really want to give it to Sarkis. All right? But I think Carl is wonderful. What do we have, my spiritual advisor? What are the Negro people saying to us? Because
Text.
I'm receiving complaints from Grand Baha Mar in urban renewal. Urban renewal workers had been told last week Monday not to come to work for a whole week because the F&M was flitting out the building trying to kill the mold. And 1 week later, workers show up and the place closed. Meanwhile, they told me that Minister Lanisha Roll had promised to visit Grand Baha Mar at the Urban Renewal Center. Now, Minister, I know you are a pastor of a church. Therefore, you are a saved woman. Don't tell the people you come in and don't offer an explanation as to why you can't make it. You got to go. And when you go, I want you to take the second minister of the gospel with you, Minister Warren Miller. And please, don't victimize the PLP supporters. They're Negroes, and they need their job. Be kind, for I know that you fed a lot. And Lanisha, whatever you think about the PLP, they knew your daddy, and they never victimized him. Your daddy, Brother Thompson, all the work he wanted in Bain Town, the PLP gave it to him. Ambadar, he's my brother. He's my Jack. So the same way the PLP didn't victimize your pa, don't victimize PLPs, because they're poor Negroes as well. Just find more contracts. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monka, text. Mr. Monka, can you please advise the people who was voted in during local government election in Lutra to go and do their jobs at the best of their ability and not to be political? It's not what the people voted for. Tell Hank, do his job as minister. Stop playing the political game. General election is over. Allow these people to get back on track. Please.
I can talk to Hank. Hank Johnson, you look like a wonderful Negro representative. Take care of all the people. Please, go ahead.
Mr. Monka, it's so amazing to see so many persons out today during their road works today. I wonder why. I've had my contract for the past 10 months and never saw that before. But I sure see them receiving payments. If all of them was to clean, when they supposed to, this island would be clean as a whistle.
Well, I hear what you say. For a Negro man appeared before me, and he told me that he's upset that he's being asked that he has to reapply. I said to him, if the F&M say to reapply, reapply. All right? Just reapply. And I shall monitor them. And to the F&M, you don't know who that you think of PLP and actually voted F&M. You couldn't get all the seats unless F&M voted for unless PLPs voted for the F&M. So please don't do no victimization, because the people them are complaining to me. And if they continue to complain to me, I'm going to encourage them to march against y'all. All right? Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monker.
Hello, my dear.
Good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I just heard you read my text.
Oh, that's your text?
Yes, that's my text.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's the truth, though.
You got paid?
For months.
You got paid?
3 times a month I clean my road work.
Okay.
And I don't see nobody. But the day everybody was out, I was like, hubby, looking at the road full of people, what's going on?
Okay.
I guess the 30th soon approaching, hey.
Did you get paid?
No, I ain't get paid yet, but let me tell you, like I said, my husband, money come when God see fit to send it.
Okay.
We might be ready, but he ain't ready to send it. Money don't rotten. Money don't rotten, baby. I waiting patiently.
You'll be paid tomorrow, okay?
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, thank you, spiritual advisor. Now, how do I reapply?
Well,
Because I ain't got a letter in the mail yet.
Well, you're going to get all the information when you go to pick up your check.
Okay, darling. So tomorrow, hey, God is good. Praise the Lord.
You have to go to the Botanical Gardens, all right?
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
And call us and
I
let
will,
us know
I will.
if you get paid, because some people got some check on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyhow, like I just said, money don't rot and money come when it's time.
Absolutely.
Anyway, take it care.
You too.
Hallelujah.
Bye.
Hello, welcome to Freedom Mat. Oh, go ahead, my spiritual advisor. Read text.
Freeport, Grand Baha Mar is still waiting, Mr. Munker, on the F&M government for relief. We are hurting bad, Mr.
My
Munker.
God. Minister of Finance, you got the whole seat. The whole of Grand Baha Mar. All right? You don't got no excuse? You know what it is to have the whole of Grand Baha Mar is F&M country. So go and take care of the people. You hear Fred Mitchell, Senator Mitchell, say things rough in Grand Baha Mar. I say send money, pass resolution, and send money to Grand Baha Mar. Go ahead.
Good day, Senator Munker. I suspect a F&M has infiltrated your ranks.
Wow.
The YouTube page is horribly ran, and the uploads are random and completely mixed up. Could you please start saying today's date after you introduce yourself, because many of us who work during show hours can rely on YouTube to keep up with the show the next day.
Well, I'm going to
But we're
write
far behind.
management to find out why my people, the Negro people, are not seeing us on Facebook, nor are they seeing us on YouTube. You need to see us. The F&M. You all stop this, because Papa would be opposed to it. I want you all to know my favorite listener is Mr. Ingram. And many days he yearns to hear me quote what he say. All right? Papa, I try. If you don't see it on Facebook, don't blame me. Blame Sabas. Papa, if you don't see it on YouTube, call Sabas. I don't know his number. And send him a WhatsApp. Or Papa, fax him. Because Papa don't give a fax. Papa fax them. I come to work and I do my job. Papa's upset too. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker, and good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. You all look great. Mr.
Thank you.
Munker, I would like you to please do a shout-out for my mom. She is celebrating her 83rd birthday.
What's your mom name?
My mother's name is Vera Smith in South Beach.
Vera Smith in South Beach.
She lives in
Is
South
she
Beach.
one of the women them?
Yes, sir, and it's coming from her children, her grandchildren, and her great-grand, and her great-grand.
I shall do that. When was her birthday?
To God be the glory. Great things he has done. Thank you.
God bless you. Miss Vera Smith, your daughter has petitioned that we wish you a happy birthday and that you are 83. Happy birthday. It comes from me, the spiritual advisor.
Happy
your
birthday.
children, the grandchildren, and look how good God has been to you. May you live for another 30 years. How that song, my spiritual advisor?
Absolutely. If it's the Lord's will.
If it is the Lord's will.
Let's not forget that. If it's the Lord's will.
If it's the Lord's will.
Yeah, let me read this text here quickly. Good evening, Mr. Munker. Just tuning in from Freeport on ILTV. The Prime Minister said in the House of Assembly that he would be sending files to the AG office to investigate and prosecute former PLP ministers for crookedness. Did you hear that the AG last night says that he has not received any files or instructions from the PM? Well, what is
the
this?
fact that he has not received it doesn't mean that it was not sent.
Yeah, it's not on the way.
Don't forget now, there's bottleneck. All right? But Carl, I trust Carl. Carl has matured. He's a QC. He understands his professional reputation. So it's powerful. Give me more text.
Good afternoon, guys. Did you and the public know that after 25 years, the Bahamas government still assists Atlantis to the tune of $4 million every year for advertising their property?
Goodness me.
So why are people upset that Bahamas was given the same amount a year? Bahamians really need to know what the facts are.
Well, we need to educate our people, and perhaps that is one of the mistakes. Because I will have to say to the PLP, over the last couple of hours, I have all kind of citizens who tell me on the phone, they're PLPs, and they're lodging complaints, even complaints against the PLP. And I've told them that I'm going to have to appoint a commission to assist them and to get the PLP to meet an account. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker. We need you to investigate the depth of the environmental health services. We have about 6 new trucks, and Vectors was just sitting down for months and months, and all kinds of diseases traveling through the Bahamas. Please check that out.
Well, that is true, because I saw a huge rat. Tout le monde haïtien, mauvais, yon gros souris. Une souris marche la terre, va signer moi pour la terre moi. I just told my people, the Haitian people, I saw a huge souris. That's rat. And souris marche. It came over to where I am. That's a fact. So we need vector control. Go ahead, my spiritual
Good day,
advisor.
Mr. Munker. Sir, please tell Jeff Floyd that when he comes for persons who owe government loans, tell him to ensure that we give government reimbursements.
Okay, next.
Sir, please tell me how the PLP and the FNM allowed managing director of PHA to run the healthcare institutions like it did for his personal business, from mismanaging of funds to hiring over 60-plus people.
Well, I have doctors, young doctors, who are complaining that they're not being given any provision to get in this situation. But I'm going to talk to Dr. Dwayne Sands. Hey, Dr. Dwayne Sands, I did go to the Princess Margaret Hospital, and guess what? Everything worked out perfectly. You're one smart guy, and it worked out well. All right? Everything you told me, I've listened, and it turned out well. So I got plenty challenges for you. You're a good man.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker and your spiritual advisor. What the Attorney General did was his constitutional responsibility to do as a QC. He must demonstrate an unbending allegiance to country over party and politics.
Well, I hope you'll say that when he starts charging and locking up some of us. Go ahead.
We expect more of this kind of action from him.
This is powerful. Next.
Good day, Senator Munker and your spiritual advisor. Can you please ensure the producers post the entire show? Some of us cannot listen to the live stream, but listen once it's posted. However, yesterday's show was short and was changed. Only about 17 minutes was posted. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, I will talk to management, because take it now. All I do is they put me in the front of the TV, and they tell me the TV on. Okay? I'll have to ask them what's going on, because I know skullduggery is about the land. Go ahead.
Mr. Munker, please have an investigation launched into the Facebook issue. I smell a rat. Facebook seems to be a major block of your support.
Wow, I don't know what's going on. You all write Facebook.
That's Mark Zuckerberg.
Write Mark Zuckerberg and tell Mr. Zuckerberg that we need freedom here in the Bahamas, because without freedom, Nazism, Gestapoism, and gangsterism will reign. And tell Mark Zuckerberg, I have American lawyers. I'm going to ask them to speak to him. Go ahead.
Bradley Roll, how dare you disrespect the bishop, calling him dishonest. You need Jesus.
Don't respond to that. Go ahead.
Good day, Mr. Munker. It looks like you're headed back to the FNM, and now you and the superwash man is family. I thought you was joining the PLP.
Okay, next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker. The individuals hired on the new government program in April have not been paid as yet. It's hard for many of them because they have obligations to meet.
Well, tomorrow we'll have to talk about that. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
That's the final text. Let's see.
Miss Monroe, remember I promised that I was going to call you? Guess what? Call the studio again and leave your number. This time I'm giving them a book to write down all numbers. And to the lady who happens to be living in Don Sanders' constituency, I saw Don on Sunday, the deputy speaker. And guess what? I couldn't find your number, but I got it now. So I'll pass this on to him in addition to doing what I told you I would do. Donald Sanders, I spoke to him. All right? He's the MP, my spiritual advisor. Any more texts?
No, that's it for
This
today.
is powerful. Tomorrow, we're going to return to Baha Mar because we have not examined fully what Sarkis is saying, taking into consideration that Sarkis has 5 ministers. 3 are known, 2 are hidden. The 2 that are hidden, I've discovered that I cannot reveal their identity. Guess why? They say there's my family. It's amazing how I'm being compromised. Everybody's my family now. And so once they say they are my family, it means I'm expected not to comment. Même tout moun haïtien m'a gen en pile famille moi yo. Maintenant, les mois arrivent, m'a parlé encore bagay. Well, my spiritual advisor.
Tomorrow's another day.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yep.
You have any contracts yet?
Well, you know, the government.
Are they looking out for you?
Well, they're now asking people to reapply for those contracts. So
Okay.
Of course, I will.
You will. You will.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
will
need any
reapply.
reference? You think if I give you a reference?
Well, I haven't seen the particulars. When I go to pick up my checks tomorrow, I would find out what the
Are you
particulars
afraid for me to give you a
Of
reference?
course not. I'm not afraid. I
Okay.
give you a reference. It's credible.
Listen. Touch not the head of a good Christian man.
Touch not the Lord's anointing, eh?
Leave my spiritual advisor alone and give him contracts.
Thank you, Frankie Campbell.
He's giving you a contract?
Yeah, Frankie's my boy, man.
You ain't telling me that. You ain't selling nothing. This is Freedom March. See you tomorrow, if it's God's will. Bye-bye.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.